Scandals across the Democratic Party lately, but the mainstream media nowhere to be found. You got Governor Blagojevich, you have Charlie Rangel's endless stream of indiscretions, and now you have Kilpatrick, of course, that mayor who was jailed up in Detroit. He's been mixed up in that controversy, and of course, Bill Richardson again. He has problems, and he's in the middle of a major investigation.
And what do they all have in common?
Democrats.
Well, you would never know they were Democrats if you watch the mainstream media. Joining us right now, our old buddy from the Media Research Center, Seton Motley, joining us from their world headquarters. Hey, Seton. Seton,
good morning, all.
What's up the deal? What's the deal with this? You know, if these guys, if even one of them were a Republican, that is what would precede their name: Republican governor, Republican senator. But instead, we've got two Democrat governors, and I think at least two questionable U.S. senators, all on the Democrat side.
Well, it's three now if you count Governor Richardson.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, he's certainly a governor for now, and probably remains, at least for now. Yeah, I'm going to bring back a phrase from the good old days of 2006 for the media: culture of corruption.
Right.
It was the Republican culture of corruption in 2006, based largely on three corrupt congressmen and a single lobbyist, Jack Abramoff, who had given almost as much money to Democrats as he had as Republicans, but the media portrayed him as this Republican lobbyist. So, but that alone made up a culture of corruption. Now you have Democrat after Democrat, both in Washington and across the country, embroiled in scandal. You haven't heard the Democrat culture of corruption. You haven't heard them linked, and oftentimes, right, as is the case with Spitzer, they're not even identified as Democrats when they're written about or reported upon.
Well, first off, you got the biggest story, Rod Blagojevich. You know, we discussed him. This guy is a Democratic governor, sitting governor, who is going to be impeached shortly, and many people fear a special election will put a Republican senator in that seat.
Well, yeah, and listen, the media has gone out of their way to not only not link him to Barack Obama, but to say, oh, he was distanced. It's a tough sell to CBS said it was a tough sell to link him to Barack Obama. Right. Lee Cowan said he fell victim to history, the history of corruption in Chicago politics, which of course, right, is the distilled to its essence culture of corruption.
All right, and then you've got with the Obama transition team, you've got a problem with the cabinet. Bill Richardson, Democrat, governor from New Mexico, withdrew his bid when news came out that grand jury looking into a pay-for-play thing in New Mexico, and some company wound up giving a bunch of money to one of his political action committees.
Well, you know, he was going to be the Commerce Secretary, so you could make an argument that was actually he was getting ready to do his job.
Good for business.
But, yeah, no, the Democrats are all over the place right now, embroiled in scandal, and we don't hear. In fact, if one remembers Mark Foley, his replacement, Mahoney, in Florida, ran as the family values guy and was caught giving campaign money to a mistress.
Yeah.
So they're
Is
all,
that against the law now?
Apparently with the campaign laws, yes. But, you know, you remember how much coverage Foley got for that exact same congressional seat for his scandal, and there's been virtually no reporting on Mahoney's doing the exact same type of thing in the same district.
It does seem to be a lot, and so far 2009 has not been a pleasant one for the Democratic Party. Al Franken, Charlie Rangel, William Jefferson, Eliot Spitzer, all closing out and starting the new year.
It appears there's a double standard. Seton Motley from MRC.org. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you all.
All right, one man who always says what he means. I'm talking about